Well, hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. Really do appreciate your time. Tonight, we're talking about the Nancy Guthrie case, day 67. Lots been going on the last couple days, and there is a lot to talk about. Get ready on the other side of this.
I've walked through storms in scars and grace, smiled through pain with a painted face.
Let's go.
They called me too loud, too much, too strong, but honey, that's the reason I belong. Every scar's a scripture, every tear's a hymn. I found my worth where the light grew dim. They tried to break me, but here's a twist. I turned my pain into a clenched fist. I'm an unbreakable woman, born of fire and pearl. I shine like grace in a reckless world. You can test my faith, you can shake my plan, but I'll rise again. Just watch me judged by the gloss, not the cost. But God don't build weak hearts from gold. He made me fierce and he made me bold. I bend, I pray, I roar, I rise with mascara, tears and battle cries. Don't need your crown, I forge my own. From ashes, honey, I build my throne. I'm an unbreakable soul, dressed in truth and pearls. The fire don't scare me, it lights my world. You can doubt my voice, but you'll hear my name. I'm holy and hood, and I'm done with shame. For everyone called too much, too loud, too real. You're not to anything. You're exactly what power looks like. I'm an unbreakable soul, through the fight and flame. My scars are stories, my strength, my faith. Faith in my heart, fire in my curls, forever divine. Clutch them pearls.
Coming in clutch, better tighten them pearls, nothing cold facts. Got the truth for the world, no smoke, no fluff, just the real that we trust. Hold on to your seat, cause I'm coming in clutch. Coming in clutch, better tighten them pearls, dropping cold facts. Got the truth for the world, no smoke, no fluff, just the real that we trust. Hold on to your seat, cause I'm coming in clutch. Coming in clutch. Coming in clutch, better tighten the pearls, dropping cold facts. Got the truth for the world, no smoke, no fluff, just the real that we trust. Hold on to your seat, cause I'm coming in clutch.
Well, hello, 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 everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. Really do appreciate your time. You could have chosen to be anywhere on YouTube. You have a lot of options, anywhere on the internet, anywhere in the world, and you chose to be right here. I know your time is very valuable, and I do appreciate you spending some time with me. Today is April 8th, 2026. It is currently 8:50 p.m. in the East Coast of the United States. Bonjour. Hello, my beautiful fam. Good to see you. Ooh, what's this? Open up on new window. What's okay? We got some new buttons. StreamYard just put up there. Good to see everyone, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. I wasn't live yesterday, and it feels so weird that I wasn't live yesterday. I feel like I haven't been here in a month, and it's been a day. Good to see everyone. Tonight we're talking about uh, the the Guthrie case still going on here, and different things kind of pushing out. Or at day 67, I believe, in this, and we got some things we got to go through. Hey, sugar, Miss Carol. Hello, Miss Mama a 3, War, good to see you, dear. CZ, hey, Betty, good to see you, hun. Christy, Lucko, Robin, good to see you, Pam. Hello. Shannon, bonjour, darling. Cindy, hello, Tucson. Good to see everyone. Guys, if you're just joining us, please do me a big favor and hit that thumbs up button. Greatly, greatly appreciated. Also, if you would be so kind and share this live out, also after the live, if you would consider um, hyping this video, as it uh, does a lot to help push this video out. Would greatly, greatly appreciate it. You get 3 hypes a week. If you don't use it, you lose it. And I am praying right now that my computer, I was having some internet trouble right before I came on, and I'm hoping it's okay. Okay. All right. So we are going to get to a couple things here related to the Nancy Guthrie case. Thank you so much, Peace of Jesus to all. Good to see you, my dear. Oh, thank you so much, Miss Holly. Thank you so much for gifting that. Really appreciate that. You received that. Make sure you get it. Good to see you, Linda. Good to see you. Make sure you thank our dear Holly for that. Really, really appreciate that. Um, okay, we're going to start out with did y'all see, by the way, the other day, Nancy Grace, she was on Sean Hannity's, channel the other day? I thought that was very interesting. Um, I don't know if we talked about Savannah Guthrie coming back. She's back in, uh, New York right now. She's back in New York and, trying to get back on the grind of things, of course. Uh a lot of people's kinda, like, criticizing her, but, I mean, she also has a family, and she can't stay out there forever, you know what I mean? She can't stay out there forever. Okay, let me look here. Sorry, guys, I'm trying to just fix something as, we go on. Our friend Brian Enton, is talking about the foot or sorry, the tire tracks. Uh, tire tracks help crack Nancy Guthrie case, and is the FBI building a suspect profile? We've talked about this. Uh, what is it? Hey, sugar. Always need Ben Gay after the intro. I don't know what that means. You always need Ben Gay. Well, I got the gay part. You know a Ben? Don't know. I don't know what you mean by that. Thank you, sugar, sugar. I think it might have been a typo, or I just don't get it. Hold on one second. Okay, so let me pull this up right here. He was with only go for a month. For dancing? Okay. Icy hot. I don't know what you mean. Okay. Want to show you something
She's
here.
really zero.
Do you guys think they're getting any closer? It's an yeah, I know what ointment. I know what Benkei is. Biofreeze. Yes. It makes you want to dance, it does. She dances into the intro and needs Benkei for her joints and muscles. Yeah. Yep. I gotcha. Thank you so much. Hey, Sugar. Good to see you. Dear. Appreciate your 10 months in my life. I'm just joking with you. I'm kidding with you, my love. Appreciate you. All right, so let's get right into it. Oh, thank you so much. Hey, Brian, good to see you, friend.
Throwing in on that coming up in this episode. Also, she is talking specifically about why the FBI has not released a profile
Thank you.
on who.
If you guys remember, I have asked about this for such a long time. Why have they not given us more about this guy? I mean, I've told you what I think this guy is like, what his behaviors are, and all of that, but we've not heard this from the FBI, right? We've never heard this from the FBI. What the behaviors they believe this guy is like, a little bit more about what you think he's like. And it's like if you guys have no suspect in your vision, your field of view, or whatever, well, why don't you give us more? Right? You are 100% on your description of this guy, Justin. Thank you. Thank you, my dear. Appreciate that. Has McDonough profiled him yet? We watched a thing on McDonough where he talks about someone from the cold case profiling him, and ours was very, very similar. Mine was very similar to his. Hey, Dreamcatcher, 24 months. That is Rockstar Legend. Thank you so much, my dear. 2 years. Justin, you never say hello anymore. I haven't seen you, baby. Good to see you. I really haven't seen you. Hello, darling. Much love to you. Appreciate you. Justin, is it because of the mask? No sketch. Well, there's thank you so much, Dreamcatcher. Much love to you, my dear. He shops at Walmart. I think he does. Or someone shops for him at Walmart. Doesn't mean he could shop online at Walmart as well, right? Someone could shop for him. Seems to be a lot of Walmart stuff here. You're here every night. I see you now. Darling. Hello. Holly says the FBI is always quiet, but retired FBI have said they put info when they hit a dead end, and makes me wonder if Nanos is interfering. Yeah. Well, yeah. And are they going to do that? Hey, Joyce, good to see you. Justin, after the last ransom, I think Perp has done this to screw with Savannah. So we're going to get to the other letters here in just a second. I say big thank you for all you do, Justin, with a big hug. Thank you so much, Miss Joyce. Appreciate you, my love. Good to see you, and thank you so much. Guys, continue this month as well. Thank you again, Dreamcatcher, Miss Mama. Hey, Sugar. and Holly. Thank you all so much. You guys are very sweet. Um, okay. Do you guys think, in your opinion, are these do you believe in any of these letters, that of these ransoms, letters that have allegedly came out? Now, one thing that I find very interesting, I will say, is I find it very interesting that this ransom letter comes out at the same day Savannah goes back to work. Same day. Anyone else notice that? Mhm. Very interesting, isn't it? Hey, Kimchi, good to see you, my dear. Appreciate you. 4.5 hours the other night, and OT at your other job for your transmission. I got your car going bad. You deserve a night off. The other night in OT at your yeah, I was I'll be honest with you. I've um been exhausted. Not only exhausted, just a lot. You know what I mean? Just trying to get uh, life. My car's been in the shop, and I just needed to clock out for a day. But we are back now. I thought so too, and thought the beginning, if someone who doesn't want Savannah working or working there. See, I don't think it's anything like that. I think it's someone very, very close uh, in Arizona. Thank you, Raw Beanie. Thank you for keeping us updated, Justin. All well, love you. Aw, thank you so much, Raw Beanie. Thank you so much. You're very kind. Thank you so much for your continued support, my dear. Really do appreciate that. The real me, TMZ should have never gone public with the letters. I mean, yeah, you could say that, but so did the news stations as well. You know what I mean? Hey, CZ, good to see you. Hey, Jen. Thank you, love. Good to see you, baby. Hello, my gorgeous pearls. Taking my fun texted you. You're wondering where I have got you. I will, my dear. Thank you so much, Jen. Appreciate you, my love. When did you text me? I'll look at that. Okay, let's get to it because we got a lot to ground to cover tonight.
Is responsible for Nancy Guthrie's kidnapping. In other cases, she explains that even if they don't know who the suspect is, the behavioral analysis unit with the FBI will actually put together a profile of who they believe the suspect is and release that to help the public know who they are looking for. She says they've done that in the past, and she's confused why they aren't doing that now in the Nancy Guthrie case. So we're going to talk about those 2 points plus
I
way more
agree.
coming up in a second. I also want to update you guys on the latest with Pima County Sheriff Chris Nanos. He's kind of been coming under fire from different directions. There are these allegations that he lied under oath, not related to the Nancy Guthrie investigation, but at his previous job with El Paso Police. He was suspended several times. And when asked about that under oath, he said he had never been suspended before in his career. Those are the allegations.
Wrong,
And now there's a
Nanos.
development from the Pima County Board of Supervisors. They are giving him an April 21st deadline to answer questions about his work history, also allegations he's suspended 2 employees for political reasons during the 2024 election, and also his communications with federal immigration officials since 2021. And also they're accusing him of going over budget. So they're
Going over budget. I mean, there's a lot there with Nanos. It just keeps coming, doesn't it? Wish the FBI would put something out to the public. The FBI is very, very, very quiet. But you kind of do wonder why they haven't spoken out, at least if they. The problem with this case is there has just been mixed reporting, like literally from jump. Whether it is, yeah, they got someone in their, they're looking at somebody or someone's, they're looking at, people are saying they're looking at the family, and the people say, well, they're looking at these other people they've done, uh, uh, they've knocked down their door. Then they're not looking at any of them. They have no one to look at. So it's been a very confusing case. The real Me Too, 19 months, legend. Thank you, Diane. Please keep my dear friends, the ease in your prayers. Much needed. Yes, thank you so much. The real Me Too. Yes, please keep our beautiful friends, Mr. Mrs. E, all the E's, middle E, all of them in your prayers. Greatly appreciated. I spoke to the E's. I text them on Easter. So Sunday. Hey Susie, good to see you. Something ain't jiving, just feels off and weird. Sure does.
Requiring him to answer some of these questions about those things and claiming that if he doesn't, there's a way it seems he could be booted out of office, although he is an elected sheriff. I mean, so I don't know how all of that would work. There's also the recall that's going on where they're trying to gather enough signatures to.
It's much harder to get an elected official out, right, than it is someone who's been placed there by a town or a county or whoever. But when the people vote someone in that they are elected, you have to, it's a much more process to get them out of there. They have to essentially unelect him, right? By signatures and
have another
all
election to get him out of office. So
Another
there's a lot of issues right now with Sheriff Nanos, and of course also a lot of criticism, which I've gotten into in past episodes, and I'm going to talk to Maureen about that too, about how he's handled the Nancy Guthrie case, especially early on in the investigation. So I want to get into all of that with Maureen O'Connell. I'm joined now by Maureen
There's
O'Connell, my
beautiful
friend and retired FBI agent. Maureen, it's nice to see you as always.
Good to see you as always. Yeah.
How are you?
I love how Brian just waves when he says hi to everyone. He even waves at Maureen. He's like, "Hi, Maureen."
Good.
Cute.
How are you?
Good. I've been busy. I've been in Tucson for the last week or so. So just trying to, it's been now more than 2 months since Nancy just vanished. I mean, it's kind of unbelievable. And I wanted to ask you about what you thought about my interview. You know, I had this source close to the investigation, and I'm obviously trying to be really careful not to give too much information about who the person is.
Right.
But, you know, there's been a lot of frustration behind the scenes with the people
I don't know what you mean,
involved in
Robert.
the case from what I can tell.
Maybe different videos. Hey,
What do
Brandy.
you make of it?
I feel so sorry for the men and women of that department.
I do too.
I mean, it absolutely breaks my heart. You've got.
Yeah. People at the department, they're embarrassed. There's a lot of them really embarrassed.
Nanos, you know, Nanos is just really pisses me off, to be quite honest, and I'm just trying to be nice, because law enforcement is all about obviously enforcing the laws, but also doing it with integrity and honor and hard work, and that's what we're all about. And then you have some guy at the top who's like picking his buddies to do this. You can pick your buddies if your buddies are really good at what they do.
Yeah. He's done the complete opposite of that, it seems. You know what I mean? It really does. Nick, thank you so much, babe. Appreciate you very much. Looking at Pearl necklace. It's very kind of you, Nick. Really appreciate that, my friend. How you doing, Nick? Thank you so much. Make sure you thank our beautiful friend, Enoch, if you received one of those. Again, thank you so much, my friend. Yes, hey, Shannon. Carol. I'd be scared to live there, honestly, in my opinion. Uh, it's just sad that there's a sheriff that's more about his pride, in my opinion, than he is about the public safety. And that should be freaking alarming. It seems more about his pride and his ego than ever it has been about the public safety. Um, about Nancy, any of that since day one.
I almost don't even care if you're picking your buddies for situations like that. But I don't know. It just makes me very sad because the morale is so low, and I know what it's like to work in a place where the morale is low. It's really hard. You're going to work, you're getting beat up, and you go to a dinner party and people are banging on you. Your kids come home from school and
Yes.
people are banging on your kids at work or at school. So it becomes this multi-pronged almost attack, and law enforcement is debilitating in and of itself. So it's just it's upsetting me quite a bit, actually.
Were there times when you were at the FBI when morale was really low?
Yeah, like there were a number of times, like after Waco and all that, where you'd be at anywhere in public, and someone would say you're an FBI agent. And I never liked anybody to say I was an FBI agent while I was working. And here come the jagoffs, pardon my language. Oh, you know what I want to know? I want to know this and how you think of it. I mean, just imagine being anywhere and having people come up to you like that, and you're just, I can't help but roll my eyes,
I
as
love
you
how
well know.
animated she is.
So that
I
would be
like
hard,
animation.
or uh, just a whole myriad of cases that we worked. And a lot of times the bureau came in as a cleanup crew after some other agency made a mistake, but we are the ones that even to this day take the flack for it.
Yeah. Yeah. And can you imagine being like the FBI? And again, I mean, think about it was really about 3 weeks before allegedly that Pima County actually started truly like working and sharing information. And the FBI, I mean, the FBI, they don't want to step on anybody's toes, even though they're the big guys, right? They don't want to go in there and like step on people's, the sheriff's department's toes. They, I'm sure, rarely ever have something like this to where the sheriff is doing a press conference and saying, "Oh, we're working with our federal partners," to the public, and behind the scenes, crickets, right? And there's been already a history with the FBI investigating in Pima County with this sheriff and others in the past, which we went all over that. Hey, Carmelita, years ago, Arizona governor really, do you know what year that was? Like how many years ago? That would be very interesting. I need to look that up. Just, oh, thank you, Maria. Thank you so much. Hey, Miss Sherry. Good to see you, my dear. Robin. Hello, hello. Guys, if you're just joining us, please hit that thumbs up
So
button.
yeah, it can be really, really hard. And it usually comes at a really trying time. So these people are having a difficult time. I support the men and women of the Pima County Sheriff's Department.
Yeah.
And I just don't support Sheriff Nanos at this point.
I don't either. And like I said, I don't even think when it comes to I mean, the homicide detective who was there and let the scene go very early and all that, like he doesn't have the training. He's never been on homicide. So I blame Nanos more than I
At all.
blame anybody else.
Yeah, well, they had 100% no confidence vote. The Board of Supervisors in Pima County is investigating him and trying to essentially get him thrown out because of
They're looking under a microscope right now.
I allegedly lied under oath about his disciplinary history. So he's kind of got, there's a lot of problems for him here in Tucson beyond just the Nancy Guthrie case. But yeah, I mean, what the source was telling me, it's kind of stuck with me how he said everybody walks on eggshells around the department, and that they're embarrassed. I'm just trying to think, you're trying to, conduct a huge investigation and with the eyes of the world. And meanwhile, I mean, that doesn't seem like a conducive environment for that.
And let's not forget the day-to-day work they're doing. Every traffic stop, they're pulling someone over, and the person behind you know how mouthy people can get on traffic stops. And now they're saying, why aren't you worried about Nancy Guthrie's killer instead of this? I mean,
Yeah.
It's got to be non-stop.
Yeah, for sure. What did you think about, the way the source described what was happening early on, that they were working on this theory longer than I expected, that Nancy had walked away, which the source says, they should have moved on from that more quickly. And that,
See, this is one thing I have a hard time with. People say that they might have, took too long on Nancy, like walking off. Do you think that they did that? Because I don't know I think they might have done, considered that, but, from jump, one thing I will take up for Nanos with is he said this was out of the ordinary. They were concerned about things in the crime scene or the scene inside the home. And then you have Savannah speaking about Tommaso and Annie saying to the sheriff, "No, you don't understand. Our mom can't walk. She can't go anywhere. This is not like her." So I don't really know on this part. Hey, little black bear, good to see you, honey.
the supervisor that responded over homicide,
Hey,
the first one to respond, the first supervisor to respond, had
Bless you,
never
baby.
worked a
Love
homicide
you.
before.
Of course.
My understanding
babe.
from my husband, who spent 38 years as a municipal law enforcement officer, is that it's not uncommon for like a sergeant or a captain to be over a program that you've never worked before. Your job is to give these guys what they need, make sure they have what they need, and to make sure things are running smoothly. That being said, I think we'd all be okay with that if the lead investigator was a seasoned homicide investigator. By the time, and I'm trying to
Thank
remember,
you.
and maybe you can help me with this.
Thank you.
I remember very early on, because your source is saying that for much longer than we expected, but I want to know, I remember Nanos coming out very early on and saying it was clear to us that a crime had been committed
you.
in
Thank
that
you.
house. When was it? Wasn't that 2 or 3 days
Thank you.
after, so Tuesday?
I think it was sooner. I mean, this happened on Sunday. I think it was in
It was he was outside of the home when he did that first conference.
24 hours.
It
You're
was.
right. He came out pretty quickly, because I remember, the reason I remember is because that's the reason I came out here so fast. Because when he said that, I thought, because my first thought too was like older person wandered
Right.
off, like you see in Florida all the time. So it was quick. But what this source is saying is that, in the first, 20 hours, 15 hours, you heard from Savannah's interview, you had the family telling them immediately she did
Right.
not wander off.
That's way too long.
There is no way she wandered off. So yeah, Nanos within the first press conference, which I think would have been late Sunday, maybe early Monday, was saying that something happened. But this source is saying, he's talking more like the first 12 hour, you know what I mean? Before Nanos came out, when the family,
Yeah.
and I picked up on Savannah. It seemed like there was a little frustration in her tone when she did her interview and said, we were trying to tell him, like, no, she didn't walk off.
I would agree with that. Yeah.
I don't see how Savannah and Cameron and them couldn't be frustrated. I don't see how they couldn't be frustrated right now. Hey, Marilyn, good to see you. Yeah, if you guys would keep Summer there in your prayers. She is pretty. Yeah, please keep our mod Summer's fine Summer's your prayers. She certainly needs them right now.
Yeah. All right. Well, the problem is a number of things. But firstly, you have a walkaway situation, which is what they have all the time. That's what they thought. And even if a family says, "Oh, it's not this, it's that," you have to understand that this may be the first time the family is dealing with this is through the lens of a law enforcement officer that's responding to a call. The family may say one thing and they may be very adamant about it, but when a law enforcement officer has had years or whatever experience, like that, I'm
Exactly.
talking about the responding deputies, and every time they get this call, the someone in the family says, "Oh, it can't be a walkaway because this has never happened. She will never do that." And oftentimes, and pretty much
It is a
almost
walkaway.
every time,
Yeah.
it's a walkaway.
Yeah.
Even if they saw the blood at the front door.
Yeah. People naturally think that about their loved ones, and Maureen is right. It will generally be a walk away. People's like, no, you don't understand. My family member would never do this. But she is right. It is generally like a walk away or whatever. But in Nancy's case, it was not a walk away. It was not a walk away. To me, walkaways, like it's someone usually with a memory problem when they're older, right? Their body's still in pretty good condition, but their mind is bad. Alzheimer's, dementia, kind of something like that. Hey, Robert, thank you so much, Robert. Appreciate you, my friend. Thank you, Robert. Very kind of you. You received that. Make sure you thank our friend Robert for gifting that. Really, really do appreciate you, Robert. So good to see you. I heard Tommaso was getting less than when he was getting before, and he found out and hatched a plan. We have no idea. Just don't have any idea. Very weird, guys.
Those of us who know elderly people, they barely scratch themselves and they bleed relatively profusely. So it could have been something like she cut herself, she started bleeding, and she walked over to a neighbor's house. I can see them believing that. But I think it's clear right now that they went down that path way too long. The other issue that
you can tell Nancy bleeds very easy, bless her heart. She's, got very thin skin, bruises, little nicks and cuts everywhere. And which is common when you're old, but then when you're on blood thinner, it makes it, you just bruise at the smallest little thing.
exists because of the situation we just described is that
Yeah, baby kiss.
once you say this is a crime scene, it's almost too late because, shoe impressions are destroyed, tire impressions are probably destroyed. Most law enforcement, I've seen people yell at cops for pulling up out in front and not like pulling into the driveway or getting out of the road. One of the reasons that they do that is because if there is any evidence, they don't want to destroy it. So when we learn how to work a crime scene on the FBI's ERT team, if in fact we're working what we know to be a crime scene, a scene where a serious crime occurred, we are not going to walk up and down the front walkway. We're going to create a whole separate path in an area that we check first. It's a cursory check, but we
Not in
check
this case.
nonetheless. And we check that pathway. Let's say we walk up the lawn on the left side instead of right up to the doorway like that. We'll make our way to the door if that's where if that's our access and egress. And then we try to keep our
Didn't happen here though.
our movements confined to one certain pathway, if at all possible.
Remember, Stacy.
If it's not possible, it's not possible. So does that answer your question? So we wouldn't.
There wasn't a lot of blood, Marie. I mean, it wasn't, life and death sustaining, where they had lost so much or anything. But we don't know how much was in the house either, right? Because there was blood in the house, there's blood outside the door, and there was a little bit of blood on the sidewalk. From what we've heard, that allegedly it's very similar looking and in pattern as it is outside as well. Right. So she came, this is the garage door right where Nancy would have came in, and this is her kitchen. That's when she was playing her game. No other blood allegedly anywhere. On the other side of the front door, JCD. On the other side of the front door. Hey, Yvette, good to see you, babe. Hey, Lisa.
Be going right where everyone else is going. Now, if it's a walk away, you're going to go wherever you want to go. Who actually propped open those gates and those doors?
Exactly.
That's something I would do to keep everyone on my team. Hey guys, keep your hands off the doorknobs and keep your hands off the door jambs. If you're going to open a door or something, we reach for the top in a weird place and pull it open. But you want to do that because oftentimes, when you're in a crime scene, it's developing, you're finding things, you're learning things. It looks like the guy was over here. I found 2 shoe prints over here. So it looks like this window is now in play. Someone go out on the outside and make sure that is cordoned off or whatever. And we're going to see if there are any valuable shoe impressions or anything along that line. So these scenes develop over.
I think okay, I think I'm still here. I almost exited out. I really think that one of the big questions was there any shoe prints? And I think we've been looking at some shoe prints from the get-go. I really do. I think there is some shoe prints here. But again, if he stepped right in this, and you know how we were looking at the different shoes, if he stepped right in this, to me, that tells me we've asked, was she carried? Did she walk out herself? Or was there more than one trip of this person going in and out? Because remember, it was 40-some minutes.
The course of time when you're in there. I could easily see a scenario where it was, in fact, law enforcement officers who did the smart thing and propped those doors open and the gate open. I also read, I don't know anything about this, but I wanted to ask you because I thought of you when I was reading this. I was reading some comments in one of the podcasts by The Interview Room with Chris McDonough, and a couple of people mentioned that gate was notoriously squeaky, like loud and squeaky. Did you know that, or
no? I haven't heard that it was squeaky, but I've heard that it was propped open with a flower pot, and that the door was also propped open, and that when Savannah said doors propped open.
Okay, they're talking about the gate, or is she talking about, like, when she says gate, does she mean like the gates out in I'm assuming out, I call them storm doors in the back, because there's a gate that actually goes to the pool too. I'm assuming she's talking about the door that was propped open.
It was a little confusing, like were both back doors open, that it's actually the one door into the house in the back and then the gate that were both propped open. But I don't know. It could
And
be
the
squeaky.
gate.
I saw the gate. I was able to get behind the house on this trip, and I saw the gate they're talking about, but it was closed. I didn't hear it open. So I don't know if it's squeaky.
I tied it in my head to that dog of the neighbors because, a squeak is a very high pitched sound, and a high pitched sound travels. And I'm wondering if that's what the dog heard initially, if it's squeaky, but you don't know. So forget that one, I guess.
Well, it's she got the house in the 70s. It's an older gate, it looks like. So it wouldn't surprise. I would assume that makes, my gates are older and they all make some kind of weird noise. It seems like when I open, none of them are quiet,
And before you know it, you're going to start squeaking too. You're young now, but
I'm already starting to squeak a little. I just turned 40.
Is he 40? Everyone's asking.
When you were on
Brian and I are the same age.
Steve always talks about how good
We're
you were
getting old.
at like the evidence processing and stuff. He always gives you like shout outs anytime I ask him about it.
Brad.
Steve is so good. You don't know how good Steve was as an investigator.
I'm lucky
he
to
was
have
crazy.
But
Crazy.
when the FBI shows up, at least with the stories I cover, it usually seems it's like after the fact. Like we get there, the local police are there, and then it's like the FBI rolls in.
Right.
Hey,
Is that an issue?
I just realized, is that why they call it WD-40? Because when you turn 40, you need it. Is that why? I tell you, I don't know, but it happens when you turn 40, man. It's, oh, Lord, to be 40 again. To be 30 again, or 20.
Like same with this case, they processed it, and then this was unusual because they opened up the crime scene and then the FBI came and did their own crime scene. But was it hard for you when you would show up to things because like you didn't have control from the beginning?
Well, it's definitely not ideal, but no, it's not hard because if you have a CSI team already in there, they do a really good job. These local teams, they do what most of us can't do, and that is manage an entire team with like one or two people. It's a really heavy lift, in my opinion. And they look at things very methodically. They understand what's important, what isn't. We can take more time because we have more people, and we have our teams are generally broken up so that we have specialists in 5 or 6 different disciplines on one team. And so, we love to train. I could not go to enough training. And that's how much I love learning. And I love learning from really, really smart people. And we were very fortunate to learn. And some of the people we learned from
I don't know, Lucko. A lot of, she could have been, I really wonder, was she attacked when that garage door opened and when it shut, right? Did something happen right after that? But then you look at these cameras, and when there was supposedly activity on the cameras, like, the early hours of the morning, and this 40 some minutes of them being there. So could have something happened earlier on when she arrived there? Yeah, it could have. Miss Roxy. It said the FBI got weird call from Tommaso's phone that he had deleted. Well, Tommaso and Annie they did get a weird call, but it was from Derek. I don't know about anything else.
Bureau are people from local and municipal law enforcement agencies who are outstanding members of their field. So we work with each other. We train with each other. We'll put on scenarios where, you know, we do huge operations where it's a training exercise, and we'll try to dovetail with other groups of people doing different things, like, you know, when we're simulating a bomb scene or something like that, or a large active shooter scenario at a big event space. We run these big things so we can identify our own weaknesses, and then we work hard to overcome those things. So when we come into a crime scene, the way you look at it is this: hey, this is what we've got. This is what we got to work with. Let's make it happen. Let's do the very best job we can, and let's see what we can find. And sometimes, you know, we'll work a great deal of time on a shoe impression or a boot impression and find out it's the boot of a first responder. That's okay.
Mm,
We at that point try to look at it just as really good training,
Yeah.
because doing shoe impression work can be challenging. It's simple in its concept, but it can be very challenging if the soil is very dry and like sand. You know, you have to stabilize it before you can pour anything in there, and it can get dicey.
I wonder if they even did a checked the driveway. FBI team even checked the driveway at Nancy's, because by the time they came, you know, it had been opened up once, and that's really when the media, you know, my team included, all walked up to the front door.
mhm.
And you had a bunch of deputies walking in and out, and I mean, they had cleared it by that point. There had been people who had driven through the driveway. So at that point,
I
is it
was
just like, why
gob
would they even try at that? I mean, or is it just,
I was gobsmacked whenever they cleared this after less than 24 hours, and they hadn't even found, Nancy, uh, and they knew something was wrong here. And remember, at this time, whenever they cleared, this scene, they had they had not found Nancy. They had not had any place where we should specifically look. We did not have the photo of this guy at this time either, right? Uh, we didn't really know about the blood until Brian and others walked up there. Uh, just craziness. In my opinion, that brown garage door may be one of the doors that was propped open. Also, the large push broom. We were looking at there was a push broom and some stuff. I don't know if that was I can't imagine Nancy leaving, and there was a spray bottle, which that could have been the FBI's or whatever, but I couldn't imagine Nancy, because she was very tidy, leaving like a broom just in the floor of the garage, because she's very orderly, right? So, oh, Miss Kelly, thank you so much, darling. I appreciate you, Miss Kelly. Thank you. Very kind of you, my love. You received one of those. Make sure you give our Miss Kelly a big thank you. Really do appreciate you, my love. Good to see you, Miss Kel. Thank you, babes. Did anyone physically see Nancy get dropped off? Are they sure she was even in her home, or was it all staged? I would say that she got at her house. I would say she got at her house. Now, have this is the thing. I want to see the video of the not the taxi, but whatever it's called. I can't even think of it. The Uber. I want to see that, because I want to see what kind of physical shape and mental shape she was in that day, how she got in the car, how she got out of the car, all of that. And I think that would tell us about her getting in the house, how long it might have taken her to get in the house. But no, we've never seen anyone say that she's got in the house other than Tommaso seeing her, but we do have timestamps of um, people being in and around the house in the early hours of the morning, right? So, you know, to me, it is a little weird. Uh, and I think Chris McDonough from the interview room spoke about this as well. Everything we've learned essentially has came from the story of allegedly, because we've learned from really Savannah and the sheriff about what they say Tommaso and Annie told them that day, right? What happened the night before, right? Mom got in an Uber. She rode to our house. We had dinner. Um, we played some games. My husband Tommaso took mom back. She got out of the car. She opened the garage door, closed the garage door, and I backed out and left. Well, went home, went to bed. Next day, neighbors or her church person, friend says, you know, Annie, we haven't got a hold of your mom or anything. Is she okay? Annie and Tommaso goes over there. So essentially, we're learning this is according to the story of Annie and Tommaso, everything that we've essentially learned. And one thing I personally, not personally, but one thing that I have an issue with this story is was Annie or Savannah. I'll get it straight in a minute. Nancy came over in an Uber, and Tommaso allegedly took her back some hours later. That may be nothing. Maybe nothing. But after she leaves in that Uber, we really have no idea. And you got to think of that. We really have no idea after that Uber. Everything could be absolutely perfect with her going there, having a lovely evening, being taken back. It could all be legit, or it may not be, or it may not be. So again, I wonder if there was tension there, and that's why something I just don't know if we're hearing the whole story. They play a large part in this, Robin. You think so? Is there any chance Nancy in Cabo, like Mexico? No. Mm-mm. Hey, Dolores, good to see you, Mama. Oops. Thank you. Thank you so much. Really, really do appreciate you. Good to see you. Bora Bora. Why wouldn't Tommaso help immobile Nancy get in the house? You know something I just thought of? Holy shit. I don't know why I never thought of this. Oh my God. Oh my God. I don't know why I never fucking thought of this. Sometimes things just hit me. It was, hold on. Hold the front door. 1 second. Okay. Kumbaya. Okay. Nancy Guthrie. Hold on. Y'all. Oh my gourd. I don't know why this just popped in my head, but I was just thinking about her being dropped off. And that's okay. We're going to come right back to this. Promise. Okay. Garage doors close at 9:50. Again, I thought that was late, but it's really dark at 9:50, and it's really dark where Nancy lives. She just could not made it. She just could not have made it from that car with their cane in that house and all of that at in 2 fucking minutes, in my opinion, pardon my French, and you not gonna check on your mother-in-law. It's really dark at 9:50. Really dark. I mean, like, when my grandmother lived with herself, I would go check the closets, I would go in every single time. I would check under the beds and all of that. He did not. He did not. That is one no. He did not walk her, he said she got out of the car, allegedly, and she went opened uh, the garage door went down, and he backed up. She made sure she got in fine. I mean, think about this. We're talking about nighttime. Think about it. Think about you're driving your let's get in the mood, the thought of this, okay? You have your mother-in-law or an elderly family member with you who's doesn't get around very good. And it's nighttime. It's nighttime and you're driving them home at night. At night. Okay? She's on a cane. All right? She only lives 10 minutes away. Not a big deal. 10 minutes. You're going to pull in her driveway and it's going to be very dark around you. Some little lights, probably a garage light or whatever. But 2 minutes? Mm, mm-mm. Pitch black out there. Yeah, pitch black out there. No way she could have got into the house. Oh, that's the reason I think they have not released. And yes, she allegedly had some drinks. Yes, I have questioned it. And that 2 minutes window from door open to door close is another narrative set by A&T, and were those times confirmed? We do know that it is an absolute fact that the door was open and closed in 2 minutes. That is an absolute fact. Now, It doesn't mean Nancy went in or out of those doors, but that door was opened at 9:48, and the door closes at 9:50. It's about 15 to 20 seconds for it to open, 15 to 20 seconds for it to close. And I believe that is why they have not released it, as us not being able to see Nancy get in the car, and more importantly, get out of that car whenever she got to Tommaso and Andy's. Because if it took her a minute to get out of that car, right? Let's think here, an elderly person, when they're usually getting out of the car, like an elderly woman, particularly, they'll grab the handle of the car or whatever. Also, what kind of car was it that, particularly if it's a lower car, it's hard for them to get out? Or sorry. Yeah, if it's a lower car, it's hard for them to get out. But if it's a big car, like an SUV or truck, it's hard for them to get in. Right. But think of an older lady, she's just trying to get, and she might pull herself out or whatever. She's going to take her time. She's going to grab a hold of the door, put her cane there or whatever. She might set the cane outside before she, gets her way out. She might get her purse. You know how they'll put, kind of carry things and put things in different spots while they're getting out or whatever. That's really. I don't know. It's a little weird to me. She would have to grab her bag. Yes, if she took one or whatever, for sure. There's a lot of questions here. Lots of questions. Okay, let's get back to this, and then we're gonna move on to something else real quick. I want to show you
Because
this.
you can roll.
Let's hit that thumbs up if you're just joining us.
First thing I looked
Yes.
at when I saw the aerial view, which I think was Mo's drone, right? The
Yeah.
first drone.
If you
Yeah.
took
The
one.
very first thing I looked at was I was looking for tire impressions on the driveway. I only saw one set from the moment that drone went up, because that's what I was focused on. And that was the one going into the spot where Nancy's car parks as a general rule. So there were two good
Listen to
grooves
this.
there of Nancy's car. So you would be able to look at those grooves, look at Nancy's tires, photograph them with a scale so you can see exactly what we're dealing with. The Bureau has a database filled with every tire impression you can imagine.
Now, is she talking? Okay? I don't exactly get what Maureen is talking about here. Like, is she talking about when Nancy first went missing?
And if
Hold
them
on.
tire impressions on the drive, the aerial view, which I think was
Hold on.
I mean, or is it just
no, because you can roll. First thing I looked at when I saw
Hey, oranges.
the aerial view, which I think was Mo's drone, right? The
Yeah.
first drone.
Yeah.
The very first thing I looked at was
Mo is Brian's cameraman.
I was looking for tire impressions on the driveway. I only saw one set from the moment that drone went up, because that's what I was focused on. And that was the one going into the spot where Nancy's car parks as a general rule. So there were two good grooves there of Nancy's car. So you would be able to look at those grooves, look at Nancy's tires, photograph them with a scale so you can see exactly what we're dealing with. The Bureau has a database filled with every tire impression you can imagine. And we can look at those photographs, and they can make a cursory determination as to whether or not those tire tracks fit that tire. But we don't stop there. We would do the tire tracks in the circle driveway. The circle driveway is where I think the car pulled up to get her.
I agree.
I know the back doors were gated, but I think something happened that caused caused them to go out the front. And maybe it was that dog barking in the back. Who knows? We don't know. I hope one day we do know. But
Me too.
I don't recall a whole bunch of sheriff's cars parked out in front. Do you, in that circle drive? But I didn't see any tire impressions from the
No, I
drone.
think
It
But
has
that,
to be
on the
over at the
side.
top.
yeah, on the side. So I would look at that that whole circle drive. I would have been looking there, and
We don't.
from the drone I couldn't see anything. But that doesn't mean obviously that there's not a really good impression. Impression that looked to me like her driveway is made of decomposed granite, which is very very difficult to develop a tire impression.
Yeah.
However,
Hey,
with
Deb.
oblique lighting and a really good photographer, you can and a great scales, sets of scales, meaning like ruler is a scale. That's what I'm talking about when I say a scale. You know, those little rulers next to a
Yeah.
fingerprint or something like that. Well, we have the long ones for the
Well, I mean, they dropped her. I mean, who would drop? I just don't understand, like, how you would drop your mother-in-law off at 9:45 at night and just be like, they're supposedly the caretakers of Nancy. Just a little weird.
tire impressions. And so you take just a multitude of different photographs and you move the your light source from all different kinds of oblique
Yeah.
lightings, because the oblique lighting will pick up the
Maurice.
ridge detail on the impression. So
Agree.
doing that, they could have secured that. We didn't see that, to the best of my knowledge, and you would know better than I would, but I didn't notice anyone doing any type of
No,
capturing any type of impression in the
allegedly it was just Annie Tommaso, Nancy, and maybe a kid.
soil out in front.
I don't think I ever saw it. The thing is, when the FBI came, they moved us all away.
Let's see
And
this.
Mo did have the drone up, but sometimes we were in the back of the house, so it wasn't up constantly. So they may have been doing something. If you get a tire print, can that help with finding like the suspect if they don't know who the
Yes.
suspect is, or does that only help like once you think you know the person and then you go see what kind of tire they have? You know what I mean? Like, if you're just starting from zero, can a tire print help?
A tire print can help, but it's much better when you're looking for a vehicle. So let's say remember when they were finding those vehicles over by the gas station, they identify, oh, this vehicle. Yeah, a really good thing to do would be you find this red Honda Civic four-door sedan or something.
Now, some vehicles, the front and the back tires are different sizes as well. Usually it can be like the rim sizes are the same, but like the width and stuff, especially nowadays,
And
the front and the back can be different.
you set up a surveillance crew, you send them over to that loc, and they say, just find out if they have Goodyear 870. I don't even know I know what a Goodyear is, but I don't know any different type of tires for Goodyear. So let's say
Mhm.
they have a very specific.
You're a car woman. You should know tires.
Hey, what?
I
like
know.
car-
Well, I know clean cars. I like
Yeah.
a clean car. But so let's say it's a Goodyear performance tire, 22-inch or something along those lines. Then you're going to ask the surveillance crew, locate this vehicle and find out, take a photo of the tires.
some
And
rest, Robert.
cops all know different
3
tires.
a.m. there?
As
Oh
a
my
general
gosh.
rule, they'll know what type of tires they are. And performance tires look very different than regular ones, or snow tires or something along those lines. Or like if they said it was a snow tire, that would be easy.
I don't know why there's people been saying that Cameron was in Arizona when this happened. He was not in Arizona when Nancy went missing, like at all. Him and Savannah were on the East Coast. I think he's in Vermont. I'm almost certain it was Vermont. I always want to say Vermont or Rhode Island, but I'm pretty sure it was Vermont. That's 100 on that, by the way. I don't know why Cameron has nothing to do with this. Neither does Savannah. Neither does Savannah.
You could almost obs that from looking at it for some guys. So it could be helpful. It'll be helpful one way or the other, but it wouldn't necessarily.
Now, Cameron does own property in AZ. Yes, he certainly does. He certainly does own property in AZ.
Not going to run how many Goodyear performance tires were sold in air. No, that's not really going to be that helpful because you can't really determine whether or not it's a brand new tire or if it's if you got super duper duper lucky.
You know, I was just thinking, you remember the picture that in the garage with the light switch? Damn. Not the light switch. Hold on. Let me find it. Remember in the garage? Sorry, I'm trying to. The broom was down on the floor. Do y'all remember that? Like, that would be dangerous for her walking in. Damn. I'm looking for it. Give me a second, guys. There was a photo of this garage. And it's open. Yeah. You guys remember that? So that would be very dangerous. Hey, Ginger. How you doing, babe? Thank you so much. We honor the public. Helps soft cases, in my opinion. They have an idea who orchestrated this. It could explain why no info has been released. We don't know that DC isn't giving them info. Just a thought. Agree. Very well said. I don't, you know, which Nanos has said a bunch of different things, right? But he said one thing that has always kind of stuck out to me is he's like, well, we've kind of known the why since the beginning. Or is that what he said? Like the why or the about? And it's like, well, if we knew that, well, then why aren't we? That would probably point toward a person, right? I don't either. But there's some things that he says that I'm just kind of like, maybe there's something to it. He's acting like he knows the motive, right? I don't know.
And in you took a tire impression that was perfect, and in that tire impression, when you turned over the plaster, you could see a few of those little black, like those tiny little skinny fingers that are on a brand new tire. Maybe then you could, if you knew, the Bureau could tell you exactly what the tire was, and you could then see if any of those were sold recently or are sold around there and go talk to them. But yeah, the whole thing is just a rabbit hole, just one in a series of many rabbit holes.
One other thing we confirmed this week was through a source was that there were no, and the way it was described to me, there was no sign of an assault inside Nancy's house. It was clean. Some rooms were described as immaculate to me. So if you're going in there when you would do your evidence job, I would just imagine, if there's a lamp that fell over, there's blood in a certain spot, you would know to focus on that area. But if a place is clean and there's no sign of an assault, like, where do you even begin?
Well, we went into a house once and we were looking.
Well, I mean, you gotta look for, just because something looks clean doesn't mean there isn't, like, hair fibers that fall, or fibers off the clothes. Like, you can't, I mean, they left something. You just got to make sure you get to it in time, and people don't screw with it. But, not having really anyone that's in homicide in the beginning there, well, not very
for
good. It was cleared.
blood spatter, but there was nothing visible. There was absolutely nothing visible. So you have to ask yourself, all right, based on what we know about this suspect, based on what we know about this case, where would we find blood spatter? You're going to start maybe in the bathroom, maybe in the kitchen, I don't know, the bedroom. So we just go room from room. If someone was killed in this bathroom, where are we looking? And then we do luminol and smaller sections, and you look at the floor. You can first do a visual.
To me, if like, she was unalived in that house, to me it's either going to be in the garage, in the bedroom, or maybe the bathroom, right? But in my opinion, if she was unalived in that house, I think it was perhaps when she first went to the garage, if she did that by herself, or when she was in the bedroom, right? Yeah, Tammy, we're going to get to that in just a minute. It's
with your flashlights. You got to have a lot
crazy.
of really good, powerful flashlights. And you look at carpeting. When you do like a black light on carpeting, if there's some sort of a light stain, blood absorbs light like you can't believe, and it makes it look like velvet. It's so interesting. Like, there's no other substance around that absorbs light as much as blood, in my opinion. So you would just go room from room to room. And if
like
you're
out of the door by herself,
so
Nick.
depends on what you're looking for. Are you looking for blood? Are you looking for fingerprints? Are you looking?
I mean, this is the thing. If this person was there alone, like, oops, this guy right here, if he was there alone, by the way, I've been working on photos with this guy. That's not AI or anything. It's something, I'll just have to show you guys later. I'm still not done with it, but I'm trying to get even a better photo that's more with this scar. It's a thing that takes a lot of time, how I'm doing it, but hopefully we can get even a better picture. If this guy was there alone, right, then I think it would be way more likely he had Nancy walk out on her own. But even if he didn't, it's very possible, because again, it's very hard to move someone with two people, let alone with one person. But if she's not very mobile, you may want her to. But again, regardless, even if they did move her, if she did move herself out to the car, they had to take her somewhere. And did Nancy get out then with whatever they was going to do with her? Don't know.
For all of the above, which is what they were looking for here. There's also a case to be made in my mind where, by watching that video Nancy did on how she made her bed and everything, she made her bed in such a way that, and she's, tiny, she's only 5 foot something. She could probably just get out of bed and fold her blanket over and then put it over the pillow, and it would almost be made.
Right, if she's just on her side.
So my thought is, if someone really did just rip her from the bed and maybe put her in a tarp and just, I mean, I'm not saying she was dead right then, but, um, and let's say she's laying in bed and someone punched her in the face just to subdue her right away. Just, hey, I'm in charge, no yelling, shut up, we're leaving. Just one solid move just to let you know who's in charge. And she started bleeding onto her pillow. And they put her on a tarp and rolled her up and then just flipped the blanket right over. No one would have even noticed that blood until much later. So oftentimes it just takes the
Very
eye
good
of
point.
of an investigator or someone that's done this kind of stuff to walk in, walk around, look at the bed. That's not made. The other side, you can see how she very carefully made the bed, and there's fabric under the pillow.
This guy had the pew pew was um, was it a Glock? If I recall correctly, I'm trying to remember. Um, Liebeck, thank you so much, my friend. Appreciate you very, very much. What in the house alerted sheriff to call homicide if the home was very clean? That doesn't make sense. Okay. The only thing I can think of is the blood in the house. Is the blood in the house and that the doors were open and they were propped open, right? Um that's really the only thing that I can think of, that she was dropped off and the camera. Oh, let's also think of this: the camera was knocked off the front, and the light was smashed in the back. Two doors open, right, and blood in the inside of the doorway. So I think that's why they probably called homicide. In my opinion, that those were, Nancy would not uh, have done anything like that. So I think that's why, probably. But very good question. Thank you so much. Hey, Deb. Good to see you, babe. Thank you so much. Deb, I have talked about this. I was just talking about this last week. Justin, why? Thank you so much, my dear. Justin, why have they not created a profile for the perp that we can watch for? The perp had intimate knowledge of the house and sent a serious message without a perp profile. Love you, Justin and Pearl. Thank you so much, Deb. Appreciate that. You're absolutely right. I've told you what I think this perp is like. But if they have not known, or they've been stumped from jump, why have they not given more on this guy or what the public can be looking out for? Are we looking out for a specific, or even like a specific vehicle, right? Um, anything more about who this guy is or who they believe that this guy could be. You would think, right? He sent good to see you. It's actually hard to believe that Nanos is no, is this incompetent. Seems like a gaggle of elementary school kids would have done a better job. Yes. Yep. It's they say that actually most adults have like the emotional intelligence of someone in elementary school unless they really take time to develop it. Uh, and I can see that. I can see that in a lot of times, especially with Nanos. It's like Nanos, if you're going to ask a tough question, even in his sheriff's office. He's not going to be your friend, right? Even if he does hire you, he's going to kick you out or put you in a position you don't want to be in. Justin, I have a balloon pic of the vehicle from Susie. I don't know what you're talking about. I'll look at it though. Nanos hasn't progressed past age 6. I can see that. I can see that as well. Okay. I want to show you guys. Let me play this little part right here. Then we're gonna move on to something. I want to show you this.
Pillow, but on her side of the bed, the bedspread isn't under the pillow. It's just flipped on top. Let's unflip it. You've got your gloves on. You open it up. There's evidence of her getting struck or something. Now that's a section we're going to really, really focus on for a long period of time. And then once you have that information, you can see how that would bleed out to, okay, so now we know the offender was right here. We know that offender stood right here. What would he have done? He touched that bedspread because he lifted it back up to go over. What portion of that bedspread would he have touched? Let's look at that. You know what I mean? So you just go where it takes you. You go where the evidence leads you, but you have to just be calm and try to figure out every move that may or may not have been taken. And also with that bite light in his mouth, I'm convinced that there's plenty of DNA in that house, because there is no way in hell that guy left that bite light in his mouth for 41 minutes. He couldn't shout commands with a bite light in his mouth. Right?
Okay. Oops. Now,
Right.
Now, that's a very good point, right? Or on the mat. Geez, yeah, Ginger. Think about this guy. Like, yeah, there's just no way you can keep this light in your mouth for 40 some minutes. That's if you're shouting commands, giving someone things to, you're just not going to have this light in your mouth. That light, if someone has like a light in their mouth like that, they're generally performing a task that they are alone on, right? But if you're with someone else, another person, or you're trying to accomplish something by telling someone what to do, how to do it, or whatever, you're not going to have that light in your mouth. Right? Okay, Susie, thank you so much. Feel like this case would already be solved if Maureen had. Oh, absolutely. I think this case would have been solved if Nanos would have given it straight to the FBI from jump, rather than the way it's went.
Right.
So he had to take it out, put it in his pocket, and now his hand is covered in saliva. So we would do hundreds of swabs in a situation like that, I would think.
One of the former homicide detectives who I talked to here, doesn't work at the sheriff's office anymore, mentioned something to me this week that I hadn't heard before. He was telling me in some of our drone video, when they were processing the scene, he noticed that they were taking perspective shots. I think that's how he described it, where they were like shooting over someone's shoulder pictures, which he said he had only seen done at like a police involved shooting kind of thing, where they try to like see the perspective of someone. That was kind of interesting. I hadn't heard that before.
Perspective of the one person.
Yeah. That's interesting. It looked to me when they had the prosecutors there that they had some sort of understanding that a number of things had occurred on that balcony, which was, I believe, right outside Nancy's bedroom. Remember when they walked in with the curtains right there, where we saw that? They were out there, and it seemed to me that was the ERT person that was pointing down and saying, here, almost as if they were describing to the prosecutor what happened here. And the reason that's so important.
Now, listen to that. That is such. I love this part that Maureen is talking about because I hope, oh God, I hope that they are talking uh, like they know a lot more, like talking almost as they were kind of taking it to court. A tiger shark diver. I don't know if I believe the FBI would not take control of this situation. The problem is if uh, FBI, like they never will just like take control whenever someone's, if Pima County has the lead, uh, FBI will never take that lead until Pima County says, okay.
To do is because you're planning for trial. Right
That's
there, you're
what's up.
planning for trial. And you want the prosecutor to understand step by step what is happening. And the reason that's important is because when they have someone on the stand, even if you're sitting second chair with the prosecutor, the prosecutor is really only going to have one shot at this defendant right then. The prosecutor has to understand that they have to understand what it looks like, how they're going to move, so that if the person on the stand says something that doesn't make sense, they can call them on it right then and there, and that can oftentimes be very, very compelling testimony.
And just my last thing, Maureen, one other thing that really struck me that this source said is that these individuals, and this was a quote, these individuals are either lucky as hell or more cunning than what we've seen in the past. So it sounds like they...
Okay, I want to know what you guys think in chat. Do you think this guy right here in the black and white picture, the suspect, do you think he's cunning or do you think he's lucky? I'm going to go with lucky. I think he's lucky. I think he's lucky that the sheriff is a dimwit. I think he's lucky that the homicide guy over homicide has never solved a homicide. I think he's lucky that the sheriff has a chip on his shoulder for the FBI and doesn't really care for the FBI, didn't work with the FBI for upwards to 3 weeks. I think he's lucky that because of that chip on his shoulder, that the sheriff sent the test results to other labs. Not that they're bad labs, but that it's just delayed a lot of this. So I don't think he's more cunning or anything, you know what I mean? I think at the end of the day, it probably is a combination of all of that, but I think he's just more cunning or more I mean, I think he is cunning, particularly about the cameras, but I don't think he's that bright. The luck does run out. It sure does. Sure does. He either is lucky or they have some really good connections.
Still don't know. You know, we've talked about, was this just like some idiot, you know, who...
He's an idiot.
You know, not a professional, or is this someone who knew what they were doing? It doesn't seem like they know still.
Well, it could be both. I don't think that they're mutually exclusive. I think one person had a lot of information. One person shared that information with, you know, Mr. Dipshit on the front porch with the phallic gunslinger and his little bouquet of dried shrubs. So it could be both. I just am really shocked that we're not in a better place. What
I
what
agree.
I would like, what I would ask you to do, Brian, is
What is
you and maybe even your listeners is to reach out to the FBI behavioral science unit and ask them why they have not put out a a profile on this person. I know that we got one from Jim Fitz, but
Ginger?
Jim Fitz isn't privy to all the Jim Fitzgerald and Jim Clementi. They're not privy to all the information that the FBI is. The FBI needs to put out a profile like they've done for hundreds and hundreds of other cases, be they high profile, low profile, it doesn't
I
matter.
agree.
They have information about this offender that they could very carefully.
And we've been asking for damn a minimum of a week or two. Why haven't they done this? And I agree with Marie. I've given you how I think, but I would love to see what the FBI
Put into a profile
what they
to
think of this
help
guy's
people
like.
focus on that. Why aren't they doing that?
Yeah.
They're going to be able to, they're going to know how many sets of fingerprints they found inside. They're going to know if they found things they're not telling us. They're going to be able to put all that together
Exactly.
and put out a profile that reflects that without giving it away. But they're just very skilled at doing that in such a way that I think will really wake some people up. And I just think it's very important, and I think it should be done in this case.
And then people would know what to look for a little,
Right.
maybe more
Exactly.
specific instead of just it could be anybody.
I mean, they've said that this guy's like 5'9", 5'10", maybe wearing this brand of backpack. And well, I mean, like, this is okay. Look at this. Look at this. If you go to the FBI, like it does, they do tell us about the backpack. They do tell us about the backpack if we go there. But we need some more info about this guy. And this is FBI.gov. Excuse me. um it doesn't really, it just tells the location, and then it just tells Nancy's information. It doesn't give anything. The only thing it says about this guy is they think he is described as a male, approximately 5'9" to 5'10", with an average build. In the video, he's wearing a black 25-liter Ozark Trail hiker backpack. The FBI seeks information that will lead to his identity of this individual. That's all they say. Like, that's it. Nothing more. Look at this cat. He's a weird one, man. I'll take a screenshot of that real quick. Like, do you guys think he's a white guy, or do you think he's like Mexican, Hispanic? Look at him right there. Watch his mouth. Look at his mouth. You can tell his lips are more pale here. Guy's a creeper. I can sit and watch these things like forever. I just want to see something real quick. You seem like you could almost see like the profile of his face right there. I want to take. I'm working on some of these photos right now, actually. And then there's this one. Hmm. I don't know if that's his tip of his nose. Is that like the I think that's the overglow with the tip, but Maureen is right. Like, there's just no way in hell he could have kept this thing in his mouth for 40 some minutes. There's just no way. This is his thrill in life. See, I don't think this guy is like, uh I think this is, excellent work. Great. Thank you so much, my dear. I don't think this guy is like a serial unalive or anything like that because those people just do it to get off on the pain of hurting people. This guy did it for um like a reason, right? Like I look at that thing right there and I'm just like, see what I mean? I don't know if that's like his nose hanging over. See the point right there? It's literally like a triangle. This guy's a twisted fuck. He really is. Okay, we're gonna go to something else in just a second, but see how they've lightened it up here. You can't tell me someone doesn't know this dude. You just can't tell me nobody knows this dude that's local. How does nobody know this dude local? Justin, I've wondered if this is after he has been in Nancy's house and his backpack is full of stuff from the house. What do you think? Well, you don't look at the blood. There's no blood. I don't think there's blood, is there? This isn't the flowers yet, right? And again, he's got the pew pew right here. It clearly is not the kind for the GUN. Oh, look at that. It's a web. This guy. This is probably a little bit more clear. Check this out. Somebody has to know this dude. It just drives me up the freaking wall. You can see the facial hair right there. Big eyes. Big eyes. Porch guy is the bus boy. The chief is the one pulling the strings. I don't know. Nobody knows who he is. In my humble opinion, he's either not local or he's associated to someone close to the family and they won't rat him out because of the fear. I do think he's I know it does me too, Sue. It bugs me to drives me nuts, to be honest with you. Okay, let me pull this up and I want to talk to you guys about this ransom letter. Do you think this new ransom letter is something like, do y'all think this, what is today? Today is Wednesday. Okay. Give me a second. I'm going to pull this up. Do y'all think, there's some things on this ransom letter that, I really, I'm trying to find the thing from TMZ. Just give me a second. Okay. I'll just pull it up this way. Bear with me, guys. TMZ. Nancy Guthrie. Okay. This is it. Oh, God. How does, here we go. Apologize. I was having a little bit of internet trouble before, and I didn't get to pull up everything earlier.
We got another letter today.
Okay, here it is.
Harvey Levin revealing just hours after Savannah's return to 30 Rock.
And it is good to be home.
More mysterious communications from the person who has been offering information on Nancy in exchange for Bitcoin, making this distressing claim.
I know where her body is and who the kidnapper is. Give me half a Bitcoin and I'll tell you.
I have to.
Okay. Half of a Bitcoin, and I'll tell you. Do you believe it? Or do you believe it? Yes or no? Or just not sure? Just not sure. No noise. Okay, Lisa. See, I believe that one or two of them could possibly be something, but I don't know about this one particularly. Hey, Elizabeth, sorry I missed this, honey. Appreciate you very, very much. Highway catching up, not defending PC because I think you and AG are sus, but what if he was drunk when dropping her off, not being as careful as normal? It's possible. Absolutely. It's possible. Life is complicated, right? Life is very complicated, and nothing is as cookie cutter all the time as what we would like it to be, especially in cases like this. But I would be surprised if, because Nancy didn't, she didn't drive at night, and she didn't drive if she was drinking either, from what I understand. But it's possible. Anything is possible. Why not go for the one? It would very good. Exactly, Sent. Exactly. How much is a half a Bitcoin? It's like 34,000. I know it went down a lot recently, but like, yeah, say where she's at, you can get 1.275 million. Right? But I think it's very interesting how this letter came out the same day as Savannah goes back to work. First day. Thank you for that, Elizabeth. Thank you, Sid. 1946. Thank you so much, again. Welcome to the family, Miss Family. Thank you for your new baby. Appreciate you. Angel kisses. Good to see you. I think some wording in the latest note was similar to the past, I heard. Yes. Okay.
It is weird that they're just now coming forward on the day that Savannah returns to the Today Show.
We spoke with
Yeah.
TMZ executive producer Charles Ladibaudiere.
There was a whole month, the entire month of March.
Oh, this is extra. Okay, I don't know if I can play extra. I was looking for the TMZ, the Nancy Guthrie letter. This is it. Here it is. This is what I was looking for. Without all that stuff on it they were showing. Okay. All right. This is where they talk about it. The Pope Leo spins basketball on finger with help of Harlem Globetrotters. Wow. There you go, folks. 1 second. I got 5 seconds on this commercial.
You know, I will share a little bit of news with you. The person who has been incessantly contacting us,
Although
saying,
stopped for a while.
Okay. They stopped for a while and then they started back. First of all, why is the FBI not figuring out who this is? I mean, I know they're busy, but they did say if anybody was writing these letters, doing things like this, you can pick whichever one. Mike, pick whichever one. I don't care.
for a while.
Yeah.
We got another letter today from this person, an
Hey,
email
Sam.
saying, I know where her body is and who the kidnapper is. Give me half a Bitcoin and I'll tell you. And this person has been really persistent, knowing that if it's a scam, it's a federal crime.
Right. But they also made the point that they wanted to make it clear that they have nothing to do with it.
Right.
They've been out.
I think it's that weight loss injection. Mary. Crime Stoppers is offering $100,000. They issued a code to the tipster and pay out. Yes. Yeah. Thank you, Sam.
Out of the country, but who knows?
We forwarded it.
Again, we forwarded it to the FBI,
Right.
as we have in the past.
Right.
And for whatever reason, and this is the thing we haven't figured out,
It might be.
you have to assume that the
Ginger,
law
I
enforcement,
don't know, he
they
just looks
believe
really
that this
tired.
person is not legit. Otherwise, they would have advised Savannah to pay the money.
Can we just be really transparent?
Uh-huh.
I think you're right that the law enforcement doesn't. There's
I
something.
just can't figure out why.
There's
Why not
something.
take a flyer? The price of Bitcoin is much lower now. These are like, you can just take a flyer and see what the person knows. The most you lose is 20 grand, 25 grand.
I'll tell you why. My spidey senses
Listen
tell
to this
me
part.
that there's something about this guy, because one of the emails he sent said early on, time is of the essence to do this. And then the next day he said, time is no longer of the essence. If he was pulling a scam, why would you say time is no longer of the essence?
Right. You want to keep the value
you
high.
want to keep
of
the
your
value
information.
high.
Yeah.
And the fact that he said this made me think this guy knows something.
Yeah. It's
And
a way to.
Time is of the essence. That's you're going to want to get money, right? Time is of the essence. Then the next day he said time is not of the essence. Well, if time is not of the essence, it seems like he was just saying, if time is not of the essence, then you're probably not going to show that she's alive, right? Remember, like, give us a picture that say that she's alive or whatever. We didn't know that it said time is not of the essence the next day. It's no longer a rush. Exactly, but it is what it is. Exactly. So that's a little weird to me. You know what I mean? Dolores, 3 months. Thank you, baby. Love you. Love you, baby. Oh, thank you so much, Miss Dolores. 3 months and gifting a pearl necklace. You are very, very kind, Miss Dolores. If you received that, give our Miss Dolores a big, big thank you. Really do appreciate you, my darling. Good to see you, babies. And thank you so much for your support. He must have meant she died. Well, what else would it be? It's either she's not alive or he's enjoying company. You know what I mean, with Nancy, and I don't think it's the latter. You know what I mean? Time's not of the essence. We're just gonna, you know, we bonded. We're gonna, be friends and don't worry about, just about that.
Look honest as well, though.
I'm not, look,
Right.
I'm
We
not
don't-
FBI.
We don't
I
have
don't
privy to
know.
all the information they are, but
You're talking about
just
the
from the
psychology,
outside
yeah.
looking in, it sure seems like this person knows something.
Thoughts.
Hey, Betty.
I mean,
Hey, Debbie. New sunglasses? I got them with my misplaced.
okay, Betty and Debbie, calm down. Okay. Justin Harvey said the note said he had been out of the country. We don't know one person who has been out of the country. We do know one person, rather, that has been out of the country, Zach. Zach was out of the country? Now, I don't think she's alive at all. I think this one or two of the letters is legit. Maybe that they will, maybe if they are legit, they are just waiting for this person to keep writing and writing and writing until hopefully the technology comes in that they can figure out who this buffoon is. Whoever is sending these messages is good at hiding their tracks. Kalila sent 2 messages and they immediately traced it back to him. I know sent. And that, I'm still not over this dude, Derek. I know that he's been like charged and all of that, but there's just something about him and his dad and stuff that there's a lot of weirdness. Like, why did they contact? He did contact them also, and Annie. Derek didn't use encrypted email. Yeah, it's such a bizarre details in this case. It really is. Yes, he green eyes. Zach, he went to, I think that's his name. Is his first name Zach? His, let's see here, Nancy Guthrie. No. Look at this. He's, Derek. Yeah, Derek. That's his name. This guy. And he was in California. He's from California. This one.
Nancy Guthrie.
This
Details tonight on the Hawthorne man accused of sending a fake ransom note in Nancy Guthrie's kidnapping case. Federal investigators say he appeared in a Tucson federal court today. Derek Kalea is accused of demanding Bitcoin from.
Okay. What room is this in? This is the kitchen, right? And this is the back room. Is there a door right there?
Members of the Guthrie family. He appeared in a Santa Ana federal courtroom last week where he was released on bond.
Yeah. Where's he at? Right
The
here.
Hawthorne man tonight on the Hawthorne man accused.
There's just so much about this guy that is does he have a scar on his lip? I don't know, but he's got a scar right there. I don't know if that's where he shaved recently. Did anyone notice that? It's where he shaved recently. I don't know if he's got a scar or whatever. He's got big eyes. He's very eccentric. He's in a band that is really, really, in my opinion, similar to Tommaso's. His lips are too pouty and not thin. I don't. You know something? I just thought of something with this guy. Hold on one second. Wait a second. I think I've got another picture right here. Let me show you this. You know something we've never seen? Everyone's spoken about this, but there was a photo of him walking out of the courtroom of the courthouse. Does anyone have that picture of him walking out of the courthouse? Give me a second. He had he was walking out of the courtroom. I'd like to see his walk. You know what I mean? This is Derek Catalina, charged with sending a ransom demand in Nancy Guthrie case. He's 42 years old. He didn't kidnap Nancy, but he texted and called her family asking, "Did you get the Bitcoin?" And saying he was, quote, waiting on our end for the transaction. Look at this. California, 42-year-old Torrance, California, didn't kidnap Nancy, but he texted and called her family, Tommaso and Annie, asking, didn't you, quote, didn't you get the Bitcoin? Or sorry, did you get the Bitcoin? Question mark. And saying he was, quote, waiting on our end for the transaction. Now, would you ask them if they got the Bitcoin? Yeah, I think we do, Lisa. Look at this. Oh, here it is. Here it is. I got it. I think I got it. I want to show you this photo as well. I mean, if you've seen like some old photos of him, there's some very weirdness about this guy. Why is it not showing? Click the link in our bio for more details. All right, here he was walking out of the courthouse. There's a video of him walking out of the courthouse I'm trying to find, but this was him 7 weeks ago. He appeared in federal court in southern Arizona on one count of intent to transmit a demand for ransom and one count of utilizing a telecommunication device to anonymously abuse, threaten, or harass a person. On February 6th, he appeared in the Santa Ana California courtroom for his initial appearance. He was released on a $20,000 bond. Was arrested on February 5th after federal investigators said the Guthrie family got a text from a VoIP internet phone line saying, quote, "Did you get the Bitcoin where we're sick waiting on our end for the transaction?" There was a video of him leaving the courthouse. That's what I was looking for. Maybe here it is. I want to see him walking out. All right, let's watch him walk out. Let's see how he walks, guys. Let's see how his foot goes. Watch his foot. Can't see his foot. Come on, put his foot down. Why aren't you showing his foot, sir? Okay, here we go. What do you think? I mean, he doesn't walk. But he could be walking. Very weird. He's got his hands in the pocket for sure. Like, he looks way more intelligent here than he normally looks. But, I don't know. He should have showed more of it. I would like to see more. To me, it looks like his shoes are too big there. You know what I mean? Let me see how high he puts his feet up in the air when he walks. He might be knowing people's what I'm watching. But let me show you these other photos here. He's real creepy, dude. Check this out.
And today we're going to shed light on
Here he is in other photos right here.
the Guthrie ransom imposter, Derek Kalela. Now, this morning, we heard from the Pima County Sheriff's press conference that we would be hearing about this arrest that was going to be made and that the criminal complaint was going to be released. Now, I do have that criminal complaint here. It is very short. I will read it because it does give us all the details of this case. Now, today, which is Thursday, February 5th, 2026, Derek was arrested by the FBI in Hawthorne, California, and charged via this criminal complaint that I will get to that is being filed in federal court for transmitting a demand for ransom in interstate commerce and without disclosing his identity, utilizing a telecommunications device with the intent to abuse, threaten, or harass a person. It is being said by the U.S. Attorney Timothy, the Department of Justice will protect victims and families at all costs, and grief profiteers will be held accountable. This case came together in under 24.
And why haven't they arrested these other people that they said that, like the FBI said that they were going to arrest anyone else doing these ransom letters, and we just don't see that. Okay, here's more video of Mr. Derek.
A California man accused of sending a fake ransom demand to the family of Nancy Guthrie made his initial appearance today in federal court. Derek Calella, a 42-year-old from Hawthorne, California, will remain out of custody before his trial, but with several restrictions. News for Tucson's Jacob Owens was there and tried to speak to Calella as he left court in Tucson this afternoon. Jacob.
Hey, Sean. Yeah, Calella declined to talk to me. He was joined by his mother today in court here in Tucson in federal court. He had already appeared in court in California last week. And we didn't hear much from him during this initial appearance. Some yes, your honors, just when the judge was asking him if he understood different things about his case. But he's facing 2 felony counts related to that fake ransom demand. According to court documents, he sent a text to one of Nancy Guthrie's daughters, as well as a son-in-law for Nancy Guthrie, and this happened on February 4th, according to those documents. That was just 3 days into the search for Guthrie. Now we'll show you, this is Calella leaving court today, I should say. And he's accused of sending that ransom demand across state lines and using a device to threaten or harass someone while leaving court today.
To me, like here, he's not as like, I don't think this guy is this guy. You know what I mean? Because this guy, he's thick in his ass and his hips and stuff. Here, which it could be just, I mean, he doesn't look as thick in the legs, this guy.
Should say. And he's accused of sending that ransom to.
He's got a thick butt a little bit, but it's not like his legs aren't as thick. You know what I mean? It sounds like he's wondering if the script has worked out or not. The Bitcoin. I don't know. It's very weird. Hey, what you doing, girl? Thank you so much. Appreciate you. It's very kind. Who dat? Who dat? Who dat? You know that song by Iggy Azaleas? She sings that. Who dat? Who dat? IGGY. Thank you, my dear. Appreciate you. Who dat? Love Clutch Pearls. We love you, darling. Appreciate you and thank you so very, very much. Giant feet, female. I don't think a lot of people think this person's got female eyes. I think we associate big eyes with, eyelashes as, female or whatever, which I get, but, ooh, Lord. Sorry, I just got really dizzy. I don't think, I don't know. I think it's easier answers would be, what did they do at Annie's home? And why didn't Annie pick or drop off mom? Good question. Okay.
Man across state lines and using a device.
Actually, let me look at that closer. Yeah.
Using a device to threaten or harass someone while hiding his identity. In court, federal prosecutors did not appeal a decision made by a California judge. That's what has let him out of custody before trial. However, the government called the damage Calella had done fairly significant. Prosecutors spoke of the emotional damage done to the Guthrie family, as well as the resources deployed in 2 different districts to possibly rescue Guthrie following Calella's alleged ransom demand. A new hearing has not been scheduled for Calella, but we know from court today that he faces several restrictions and he's already turned over his passport. Colella will have his electronic devices monitored, and his travel is being limited to California, Arizona, and the necessary travel you need to go in between those two states. Sean, Colella was also ordered not to have any contact with the alleged victims or potential witnesses in this case.
Potential witnesses or victims in this case. Maybe there are two different crimes involved. I don't know. It's very weird, this case, because it goes so many different directions. This guy, he just may have been really dumb to just do this. You would just, I mean, he was caught, right? And it doesn't seem like the others are. So that kind of makes me wonder as well. Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see. He looks dumb. I would just to me it's just weird how I mean, you would think he would know Tommaso. You would think he would know Tommaso. Well, we will see. Yeah. For his next court date, he could run into Mexico. I don't think he'll run. I don't think he'll run. His mom was with him. Yeah. So, all right, guys, I'm going to end it here. It's been 2.5 hours. I appreciate you. We're going to stay on this. I got to be up early again in the morning, but I will be, hopefully I have 2 live scheduled tomorrow. I'm going to try to do my first live around 4 o'clock tomorrow. So make sure you join me if you can, if you're around that time tomorrow. If not, I will be back here about 6 or 7 with the second live tomorrow. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I am Sue. I am, my dear. Much love to you guys. Really, really do appreciate you. Let's pray Nancy's found soon and this is over. It's been way too long for a lot of these cases. Gann and Stout, I can't believe Letitia's getting another case. That makes me, I couldn't cover Gannon's case. There's a recording on it that I can't listen to it. I'll lose my mind if I do it. I don't know, it bothers me too much. All right, guys. Love you all. Appreciate you. Good night, everyone. God bless.